All right, look, I'm just tired of not Deion Sanders. I'm tired of Colorado football is getting so annoying and it's not even their fault. That's the problem because it's the sunshine pumping and then the people who hate Colorado. And that's like all you get to see. There's no one who like is being rational and realistic about this team. You either have the people who are saying they're going to absolutely suck and last year was an improvement. Then you have the people who are like, oh my God, they're going to win every game. They're so freaking good and already predicting them to go 9-3, 10-2 this season. Just stop. Like those people literally just want your engagement, whether you like it or hate them. These people just hate Deion Sanders because they think he's arrogant. I'm going to give my opinion on Deion Sanders. I love Deion Sanders. I think Deion Sanders is incredible. I think he's awesome for college football. Does that mean I think he's going to go 10-2 and have some crazy season at Colorado just because they're going to pick up? No, because I'm not an idiot. I understand this sport. It doesn't work like that. Now, for Deion Sanders, the people that hate him think he's arrogant and childish, and they think that because they hate him. But really, what he is confident. Deion Sanders has self-worth and self-respect. Everything he's ever chased after and wanted to go do at the highest level, he's been able to do. That's why he's so confident. Whatever he set his mind to, he's been able to accomplish. He's a successful man. He's a confident man. He knows his self-worth. And that scares those other people who hate on him and call him childish and arrogant because they can't even begin to comprehend that kind of self-respect for themselves, that kind of confidence, the ability to put your mind to something knowing you're going to succeed at it, even if everyone else says you're going to fail. And that's why people don't like Sanders. That's why I like Deion Sanders. Why should I care about your opinion of me when your opinion of me is not the opinion that I have of myself? Deion Sanders. Boom, right there. That's what I love about Deion Sanders so much. The outside noise does not matter. Deion Sanders knows he can have success. Now, let's talk about this football because this brought this up today. FanDuel released their Big 12 over-under win release total, have Colorado at 5.5. And I've been reading Colorado basically propaganda where they're like, they're going to win these few games off momentum based on the schedule. They're going 10-2. They're going to be like 8-0. I'm just like, guys, stop. And then you have the people who are like, they're going 3-9. And I think the 5.5, I guess, is fair. But let's be realistic. Look, when we talk about Colorado, another thing that people like to joke on, let's be truthful about this. Deion Sanders is in his recruiting. The recruiting class has 7 kids in it. But they're all pretty damn good football players. Let's not go wrong there. He is just approaching building the foundation of his team through the transfer portal. We've seen teams kind of fix their roster a little bit and have a somewhat overhaul on a side of the ball in the transfer portal. He's basically trying to skip the recruiting stage of establishing a solid foundation of a team and go at it through the transfer portal, taking kids from schools where they know they were wanted and they most likely had production and not rolling the dice on high school kids, especially getting them out to Colorado. Either way, I know it's weird. This is the way to explain it because it's so backwards from what we view college, but we just haven't seen someone do this before. Now, it's definitely weird, and that's why a lot of people say it's not going to work. And I have my own opinion on it. It's definitely an interesting way to go about it, but I think high school recruiting is very important. But who's to say he can't not have success doing it this way? We just haven't seen someone do it to this level, and we don't really know if it can be successful or not because no one's really done it like this. And if anyone can do it, it probably could be Deion Sanders. But outside of that, the recruiting, let's talk about the schedule this year because this is the main thing I just want to get over is like the people saying how many games they're going to win, just feeding the sunshine pumping because they know they can easily get people to either hate them or just drool over the mouth at Colorado being successful. Look, like I said, there's a lot of people who are just bandwagoners who aren't even Colorado fans. They were just Deion NFL fans that think Colorado's going to win every game because Deion Sanders is the coach. Is Deion Sanders a good coach? Yes, but that doesn't just mean you come into college football. College football doesn't care who you are, where you're from, how good, successful you were at other things. You still have to build. There have been exceptions, not the rule, for some weird fluky seasons that have happened at other places. Like Mel Tucker should give Kenneth Walker his entire coaching salary from Michigan State. Stuff like that, that one or a player basically carries so much. Let's talk about this Colorado team, though, this year. This isn't okay, so I keep seeing the reason the people who think they're going to be insanely successful, like 10-win season, which I find very hard to see, Even the FanDuel agrees with me at 5.5 is the over-under, putting it there. They think because the schedule is easier this year than it was last year, that means they win more games. Just because your schedule is easier than it was the year before doesn't mean you're better than the teams that are on your schedule. This might be an extreme example, but say I took Troy out of the Sun Belt and made him play in the SEC for a year, and I took him out of the SEC that year and put him in the ACC. Do you think they're going to go, oh, we're going to have a way more successful season because our schedule's easier? Most of the teams you're playing are still going to be better than you, especially in this Big 12. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 other teams with a higher win total over under set than you, and 2 other tied with you. Cincinnati, that's a little high. That's surprising. But let's look at this. Okay, so let's look at the schedule. The North Dakota State one is just an interesting game. Now, this game was scheduled a long time ago, but I think they're like 9-4 against the FBS, and 5 of those wins are against Power 5 teams. So North Dakota State's not really the FCS team you want to play. I mean, it's not a pushover, but I think they should win that game regardless. Now, here's where I think the season is built. Nebraska and Colorado State. 2 rivalry games, both away, back-to-back. Look, that game is going to be crazy in Lincoln. Absolutely crazy. And you cannot, that could be one of the most rowdy environments of the entire college football season next year. Then you go to Colorado State, which Deion said he wishes was the first game. You know, it's personal, all that stuff, the whole thing that happened last year. Jay Norvell. But you're going to Colorado State. You know that game is there. They probably got like a special clock somewhere in their facility waiting for that game. Jay Norvell probably has like a poster of Deion in his office. That I'm not saying they're going to lose that game, but I'm saying those 2 games, like genuinely, like even the Colorado State game, because it's a rivalry game, could be a toss-up. Because next year I feel like Colorado State is going to just want everything to do to win that game. But I'm going to have them going 2-1 in that first 3-game stretch, beating North Dakota State, losing at Nebraska, beating Colorado State. Then you get Baylor at home. I think that should be a win. I don't really believe in Dave Aranda anymore. So that puts you, well, I never really fully believed in him. He never was able to capitalize off his own Big 12 championship. But that puts you at 2-2 or 3-1. 3-1. You go to UCF. That game, I saw someone where they were like, yeah, we're going to have like 25,000 Colorado fans can visit. You can go to Disney, do all this. You're not going to get 25K visiting away fans at UCF. Like that's going to be a crazy, and the bounce house is not for the faint of heart. That's going to be a loss. So now you're 3-2. Kansas State at home. You have your bye before this. I don't think you can match up. I don't think the size matchups will match up well against Kansas State. So that puts you at 3-3. Then you got Arizona on the road. That'll probably be a loss. 3-4. Cincinnati at home. You should probably spank them. 4-4. Texas State away. That's kind of a toss-up game. I don't necessarily know. Like, that's Lubbock can be a tough place to play sometimes, but also sometimes they can just disappear. So you're 4-4. I'll give you the Texas State win. 5-4. You're going to lose to Utah. You're going to lose to Kansas, and you're going to lose to Oklahoma State. 5-7. With the toss-up being that Nebraska game possibly. So I honestly, 6-6, I'll say realistically, I'll probably go 6-6 as an early prediction. I think a bowl game is serious and a bowl win is possible. 5-7, 6-6 is my kind of look, which is funny. I mean, the win total is 5.5, but that was before I saw the win total. I'm stumbling over my words. That's what I thought about Colorado as well, was a 5-7 and 6-6 team when this schedule first came out, when I first saw it a few weeks ago. I just hadn't really said anything, but I just can't take the people. It's not fair. I just don't think it's not the people who are hating on Deion. Those guys those are just insecure, just stupid. Like some of those people, I don't mean to be mean. Sorry. They're just dumb people. They don't understand what it's like to have that kind of self-confidence. Now I'll get it. Deion has a self-confidence that's a whole nother level, but I respect it. I like the way he views the world. I like his outlook on life. I like how much he respects himself. So I like that. But the people who sunshine pump, I just don't think it's fair to Colorado. All these people being like, 10, I've seen 11 wins, 9-3. I don't think that's fair. And it kind of happened last year. I feel like some of the kids thought their shit didn't stink after they won a few all right games against teams who really weren't that great. And then the Stanford collapse happened. And the whole locker room thing, people on Instagram at halftime thing that came out. I don't think it's fair because you're too Deion is what I mean. So that's what I put on the on the graphic for Deion Sanders right here is just let Deion work. Let Deion work. Stop being so loud. I think a lot of this is rooted in emotion. Like, people want Deion to succeed so bad that it's going to take time. This isn't an overnight process, especially the school that he came into. Last year, no matter what anyone tells you, was a successful season. This year, if you go 5-7, it's a successful season. And your son is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. You have a good chance at a bowl game this year, but I don't think it's fair to go with these crazy predictions to throw on Colorado just to say it because you know it's going to trigger engagement. Like, be truthful about this team. If you really sat down someone who said something, be like, do you really think they're going to win 10, 11 games? Would you actually put money on that? Now, I don't condone or endorse betting or any of that, even though this is from a book, all that, whatever. But I don't think it's fair to Deion. I don't think it's fair to the kids to just throw these expectations that are so high when we're so early in his time at this level of football. Just let Deion work. He's going to be successful. It's going to take time, and these sunshine pumpers are going to have to understand that. College football is not for the faint of heart. Hard work doesn't even guarantee success or just the hope of anything. You just have to let him do his thing. So let's be truthful about Colorado. It's not just going to be some overnight success. Let Deion work. He's going to get things figured out. He's going to get it to work. And if the transfer porting, recruiting kind of thing doesn't work out, he's going to be able to adapt. He's going to be fine. But let's not throw these insane expectations on them and then laugh at them. And you set all these other people up to laugh at them if they don't reach those lofty goals. Because a lot of people are going to be ingrained in their head by not even looking at these over-under win totals. There's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, yeah, they said Colorado was going to win 10 games. Everything I've seen said Colorado's going to 10 games, win 9 games. And they get to point their finger and laugh when in reality, the people who actually know that that wasn't realistic. So you're setting them up to be laughed at. You're setting them up for failure doing that, even though they're not going to fail. I think they're going to improve. I think they're most likely going to make a bowl game. Now, for the Doomers, just shut the hell up. Like I said, I'm in the middle here. I love Deion Sanders, but I'm tired of the overhype from the media stuff. It's ridiculous, and it's so obviously farming at this point. Let's just stop blowing this thing out of proportion, and let's talk about this like a real football team. Let's be level-headed and set actual realistic expectations on this team. Just because you are a fan of a team doesn't mean they're just going to go 10-0 or 12. I don't know why I said 10, 12-0. Stop putting so much emotion into, which I know it's college football. We love emotion, but with these record predictions and stuff, wins and losses have nothing to do with how you feel. It's about performance. So I'm done. I can't keep ranting on this. I'm just going to end up going cyclical, but let Deion work. He's going to be fine. Let him do his shit. Let the king cook.